Chartered Adventuring! Welcome back to Chartered Adventuring. Today we're one player short and we'll be running a new one-shot storyline in our ongoing series of Elsewheres in Oz. Today our players will be trapped in the castle of the Crooked Sorcerer. With me today are Tom Barrett, Jamie Fox, and Ian Anderson. Welcome back, everyone. I want to thank you so much for being here.
Good to be here. Can't wait to play.
Yeah, I'm excited to play today. So we're going to start with the story intro and a little bit of build up on where we are, and then we'll get into what each character you're playing, and then we'll actually start the intro for the stories. All right, well, our story begins this time in the northern quadrant of Oz, known as the Gillikin Country. If you're on the map on the screen, it'll be that big purple area right there at the north. Purple is the dominant color here. We got purple trees, violet trees, often heavily drooping under the weight of plums, fields with wild grapes, large juicy blueberries growing wild over the hills and forests of this untamed region. If you're walking through the cool forests or charming meadows, you can sometimes smell lilacs and lavenders, as purple again is the dominant color. Our story begins up in the lonely Gillikin Mountains, far away from all that lovely stuff I just described, in a damp and dreary cave, far away from the small Gillikin communities down below. Here, down a dusty purple path, lies the cave of the crooked sorcerer Dr. Nikidik, celebrated in his own mind, magician extraordinaire. He conducts his forbidden magics and experiments way far away from where everybody can find him. He can't very well do it in the village square, obviously, as magic is banned in Oz. Tonight, he is putting the finishing touches on a final spell which will help him get his revenge on the witch who tricked him out of his most wonderful potions and powders. And in his laboratory, under a bunch of shelves, tables, and bric-a-brac, he stands in the center where a large boiling cauldron is. Dense purple smoke billows out of the pot and curiously fills the room without choking him. Dr. Nikidik is an old man wearing raggedy purple robes with brown and red patches, a worn brown witches-style hat, and a beard that reaches down to his feet. He makes his incantation, icky, bricky, sticky, wicky, kirky, porky, cloosey goosey, and other nonsense things, and then stops suddenly. Slave! Slave, where are you with that claw-footed tub? Get it in here before I finish this castle incantation. And then out of the corner, you hear a sigh from the room, and a clown in a weird jester's outfit starts dragging a giant claw-footed bathtub into the room.
That's a strong clown.
It is, yeah.
I slowly, very, very slowly drag it in. 3 seconds later, pull it again. 10 seconds later, I pull it again, and then I sigh. Here it is.
Finally! What on earth took you so long?
You asked.
Well, in whatever case, are you still wound up?
No.
Come here. He gestures you to come forward.
I walk.
You step in front of him, and he turns you around, and he starts winding up each of your gears. He starts with your thinking action. He moves down to your speech action, and then he finishes at your physical action. And then he takes out he spins you around again, and he hands you a pepper box, and he says, "Here, go dust that sewing machine in that tub in the corner, and get ready for the incantations." And he shoves you off as hard as he can, but it doesn't hurt you because you can't feel pain.
I stand still for a little longer, but faster. I do walk towards the bathtub, and then very slowly, because I don't want to, I pour the pepper.
Excellent. So you pour the pepper over the bathtub. It comes out in a sparkling little mist and dust and sprinkles over every area. And you know, as a person who has used the powder of life before, that you have to sprinkle it over every part of the body. So over the bathtub, you make sure you get it over the feet, over the shower head attachment in the front, and you make sure that it a little bit lands on every part of it. And you do the same thing with the sewing machine. The foot pedal, because that's where the feet are at the bottom. And I'm assuming it's made of iron towards the bottom. We'll get a description in a minute, though. And as you're doing this and you're carefully dusting it as you would a potato, or peppering a potato, he's finishing his ridiculous incantation, and suddenly the room expands outwards and starts warping and shimmering. Instead of a deep damp cave. It expands 50 feet out and turns into a beautiful room. The room shudders and pitches and expands outwards. The doors change from rudely fashioned wood to ornate golden ones. The ceiling transforms from rough stone to intricately carved metal. So there's like little designs on the ceiling of people doing picnics and other and battles and stuff. Columns of marble replace the stalagmites, and the floor turns to a rich marble with a plush purple carpet. And he says, very good, very good. That's much more comfortable than our damp cave. And now he turns towards the items that are waiting, and he says, Wah! Tia! Pia! And at the sound of the last pia, the tub and the sewing machine come to life instantly. And the first word they've heard is pia. They look around, seeing themselves in beautiful surroundings on a plush carpet. And now I'd like you to describe your characters, please. We'll start with Jamie.
I modeled myself after my grandmother's sewing machine, so I am a lovely 1902 Singer sewing machine with a foot treadle, so heavy iron, very industrial style needle. Like, I can puncture through most things.
All right.
Sitting in a wooden table that, like, it can actually flip down into and cover just to become a full table. Yeah, and like this lovely, like, ornate wrought iron piece, like, decorations on the edges of it. Anyways, yeah.
That's so cute. So now, just to make sure I understand it correctly, the sewing machine itself is on a table, and you're able to retract it and pop it back up again.
You actually, like, flip it.
Flip it.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm like, but yes.
The point is that it can be moved, so it goes like this. Then it can flip down. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Like, it goes in and comes back out at the table.
And it's a very sturdy sewing machine. It's cast iron. The feet are cast iron, and the only thing that's wood on here is the table itself. Then, right?
Yeah, the table and the, like, little drawer that it has. Yeah, but also those are like a dark hardwood. I want to say it's not walnut. It's more like a stained maple.
Okay.
But it's a dense hardwood.
Okay, awesome. All right, so you've been brought to life, and you're moving around now, and you can see the room around you. And then, Tom, go ahead and describe your character that's been brought to life.
I am a large, old-fashioned, claw-footed table or a tub, big old bathtub with a the claw feet and the fittings are all brass, including a fitting on the front of it that would be a large, like, upside down U-shaped shower head with the big brass head.
Okay.
Yeah, very just white porcelain. Well, porcelain
and very
clad.
Heavy and sturdy.
Right, because they were clad in porcelain, but they had iron bodies or brass bodies.
Right, exactly. They were made of metal and then coated with that porcelain to keep them from being porous.
Right. So.
Okay, so very heavy, but not so heavy that an automaton clown couldn't drag you into the room, I guess. At least in that instance. All right, so you two are brought to life. Is there anything you want to say after hearing Pia and opening your eyes wherever they are in your body for the first time in the room?
Nope.
You see a clown standing in front of you, which you've never seen before because you've just become alive. It is a humanoid creature standing about 4.5 to 5 feet tall. Ian, go ahead and describe your character.
So my character, his face, it looks like it's porcelain, with paint all over, painted on colors like his eyes are a little bit of green and some blue. The mouth does have a big clown mask, like a big clown. Always in happy form though, whenever he's talking, but whenever he's not talking, it's the opposite. He's in a mad, angry frown. He does have a huge bow tie on the front. The bow tie is a purple color. His gears on the back, he can reach them. However, though, he isn't unable to get them turned.
Okay, so he's not able to turn himself on, is what you're saying.
Correct.
All right. Can't wind himself up.
Yes. And then his skin itself, it looks like it is a cloth. So looks like it's a little, you can push into it a little bit, kind of like a farther in than human skin kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So you two awaken for the first time ever. You can speak English, or Ozish in this case, since you were born in the land of Oz. You don't know that yet, though. And the last thing you heard was Pia, and you see the clown as described standing in front of you holding a box in his hand and sullenly looking at you, while the magician, a bearded man in the back behind a cauldron, cackles. Mombi's illusion magic was no fraud, at least. We now have a nice, comfortable castle with which to ply my trade. So much better than that damp cave. But hurry, we must finish this spell before Mombi arrives. You there, bathtub. What do you know?
What what do I know? I don't know what that means.
I see. You sewing machine. Do you know anything?
Uh, Fabric?
Fabric. Yes, I suppose that the sewing machine would be interested in fabric.
Right?
In any event, I've brought you two to life as I need unusual parts of your person, to put it bluntly, in the final ingredients of my potion with which to exact revenge upon my mortal enemy. I suppose you two have no qualms with giving up your newfound life in the pursuit of my delicious revenge.
Life? What's life?
Life. It is what you have now. It is your ability to look around this room and gaze at its beauty and speak.
Like, I'm kind of like on my wrought iron legs, just kind of like turning around a little bit to try and take it all in. Like, oh.
Yep, you see a beautiful room with marble walls, paintings, torches have sprouted up on the wall that are glowing eerily, but lighting up the room perfectly. Plush carpet. There are 3 doors. There is a door to the north, a door to the east, and a door to the west. And behind you, there is a door towards the south as well. And in the center of the room is a bubbling cauldron putting out purple smoke. There are shelves lining the walls in front of the north door, and then that's behind the doors behind it. You can see past the shelves with all the elements and everything on it. Slave, I want you to start harvesting these 2 for their parts. We needed the... where's my spell book? Hold on, I'll be right back. He walks off behind the shelf and starts muttering to himself, oh, where did I find it? You do have a chance now to kind of speak to each other.
Finally, he's not watching. So, basically, you will become dead.
What is dead?
You know how you are able to move and talk right now? Well, forget about that. It will only last a few more minutes.
But why would we be given this gift just to have it taken away? It doesn't make any sense.
Probably doesn't, but sadly, I have to do what I'm told, even though I don't want to.
Why?
Because I got nothing else.
I don't think I like this at all. As I'm speaking, my shower head is like over opposite the rest of my body, so I look like a little tailless brontosaurus.
That's so cool.
And there's little like spittles of water that are shooting out with me talking. That's so.
So you're listening.
He's got kind of that Sylvester kind of thing going on.
That's great.
Yeah, my little foot pedal and my needle are going up and down every time I talk, because that's like how I talk. Yes. So it's a little bit of that's why it's kind of that high pitched whine voice.
Okay, no problem.
I don't think I want to stay around here if you're just gonna kill us.
You can try to get out. I can show you some ways, or you can maybe try to fight them, but I don't know how.
So as you guys are talking, you hear him go, here it is, of course. He comes up to you and he says, oh, having a meeting? I suppose my slave has been informing you of my plans? Very
Sure.
good, very good. That is unusually obedient of you. Yes. In any event, all of you come over here. I have a hacksaw, and I plan on taking out parts of you so that I can finish the potion. It will, unfortunately, destroy you, but I feel like you are not missing much with this life thing. It's very boring and very tiring, and you will be much happier as an implement in my magic, I assure you.
And I'm gonna can I try to gallop away?
Sure.
Okay.
He's not going to stop you or anything.
So you were saying that there's essentially a door in each quadrant?
Basically, yeah.
And the
It's a
door that
circular
behind him
ring.
was the south one?
The south one is behind you, and you're facing forward.
Okay, well, so I'm gonna, yeah. I mean, I guess turn around and head south.
So you're going to start clomping away from him. He's going to say, oh, now. There's no need for that. And then a deep gonging sound appears throughout the entire castle walls. Gong, gong, gong. Ah, delightful. My guests have arrived. And the front, that door that you were galloping towards opens up, and an old woman carrying 2 black cats, escorted by 2 soldiers, marches in and stops right in front of you. And the old woman says, oh my, what is this? Dr. Nikidik, have you been playing with your powder of life recently? He looks at her and he says, you know very well that I have. You stole the last bits that I had of it, and this is my final attempt at making more. Oh, Dr. Nikidik, how you do go on. And she takes the 2 cats that she's holding and she puts them down. She says, whatever were you going to do with these beautiful babies? Some nefarious spell, no doubt. And he says, never you mind, my dear, never you mind. Oh, she goes, oh, off you go, babies. And they prance off and they go towards one of the doors, which opens up and shuts behind them, and they disappear from this room. Mombi stands in front, and you see an very old woman crouched over, wearing a blue hat with a little sunbonnet. She's got a blue shawl covering her, wearing a Gillikin purple dress. None of you know what Gillikin is, except maybe Ian's clown character know what a Gillikin is. She has a big stick, and she's holding a picnic basket in her hand, and she looks like she has mischief in her eyes, which you may also not be aware of, but I'm describing it anyway for scene. Behind her is 2 female soldiers. Both of them wear green hats. I forget what the type. It's like a frog hat, I think, is what it's called, where it's got like the big top to it and the bill in the front. They have They have green tops with skirts that have the 4 colors of Oz on them. One of them has yellow in the front with blue, purple, and red, and the other one has Gillikin in the front, or Gillikin purple in the front, and then it has the other colors, red, yellow, purple, on the other sides of their skirts. And one of them is holding a vial in her hand, and the other one is holding knitting needles as a weapon, out. What is going on here? Why is your sewing machine trying to escape, my good sir? He looks at her and he just says, you know, you stole my potions. You stole my magic. And she says, Dr. Nikidik, there was a misunderstanding. I gave you everything except for one final ingredient. And of course, I wish to give it to you to make our bargain accurate. She starts to reach into the basket and he says, no. I won't allow you to perform your witchcraft here, my dear. No. You, my dear, bring over the implement. He points at one of the soldiers, and she holds up this vial, and he says, bring it over. I trust you don't have any way of performing magics. And she daintily starts walking over and gets ready to hand it. And as she's about to hand it to him, she throws the contents upon him, and he starts to turn to stone. Mombi, you witch! I can't believe you! And he freezes with his hand out and is a complete marble statue. Dr. Nikidik is lifeless and standing still, and Mombi starts cackling. How easy this was. She walks up to him, she goes past the sewing machine, and she taps him, and he falls over, and because of the way his limbs were arranged, he smashes himself on the floor, dead. Now, all I need to do is find the last ingredient for that final potion of making illusion magic real. We need to find the Spellbook. You two, the mission was a good success. Run back to General Ginger. Tell her of the success of our plan while I try and find his Spellbook and try to find his final ingredient. and they immediately walk out the door, which closes by itself, and you see a key lock on it. And you're now standing in the room with an old crone who is eagerly looking around as if she's about to ransack the place. What wilt thou do?
I am going to stand completely still and pretend I'm an inanimate object. I haven't moved yet, so she doesn't know.
No, you haven't said anything or moved. She's not even looking at you.
I'm going to walk up to the head and kick it.
You're going to go what?
Walk up to the head and kick it.
Oh, of Dr. Nikidik? Okay.
In happiness and kick it.
Okay, well, you can go up and easily do it. It's very heavy. It probably weighs like, 30 pounds because it's a piece of solid marble or more. I don't know how much it's going to weigh. What's your strength?
He's got a fluffy foot. It'll just like...
He actually has a steel skeleton frame on the inside, so he might actually be able to...
bend his foot.
Well, in his foot, yeah, that's true. Okay, well, go ahead and roll your... roll for attacking it, I guess.
7.
You got a 7? Okay, you go up and you smack it, and it doesn't really move at all, and it makes a dull thudding sound, which actually gives you a great deal of pleasure because you hated him, so you do it a couple more times and just kind of kick it, even though it's not really doing anything.
I will bend over, pick it up, and throw it this time then.
Where are you going to throw it?
At randomly direction.
Can you lift it?
I will try to lift it.
Okay, go ahead and roll your strength.
10.
10? Okay, you can probably pick it up then. You were able to pull a bathtub in here anyway, so you pick up the head and you throw it in a random direction?
Yes.
Okay, like... Can you
not towards the living objects, though.
Okay.
Sorry.
You throw the head, and it kind of lands crack on the floor next to the cauldron. It makes a little dull clanging sound, and it kind of warbles the mixture a little bit. Mombi says, "What on earth are you doing?"
I didn't like him. He forced me to do things.
Of course, I do understand, yes. In the meantime, do you know where his spellbook happens to be, my dear?
Used to. New area, not anymore.
I see. As you're talking with her, another dull gonging sound happens. Gong, gong, gong. And the room, you feel a presence in the room kind of rise up. And you hear the voice of Dr. Nikidik. Ha 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 ha! So you've defeated me, Mombi. No matter, you'll never escape my enchanted castle. For the ways are trapped, and by dawn the enchantment will end, and everything will be destroyed. The castle will fill in on itself, form a ravine, and destroy everything left inside it by dawn. So long, Mombi! Ha 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 ha! And then it's silent in the room, and Mombi looks a little shocked and stunned and just kind of stands there dumbfounded for a moment. She taps her foot a little bit and says, "Very well. It appears we're going to have to do this the hard way." She goes, "You, what is your name?" And she points at the clown.
You can call me Jester.
You, Jester. You and I are going to be doing a search-by-search room of this castle, and we're going to be finding his spellbook and a means of escape. Is there anyone else in the castle that we can count on to aid us?
I look at the sewing machine in the bathtub.
The sewing machine, yes. She comes walking up to the sewing machine and she says, "Yes, I saw you moving a few minutes ago before I destroyed that evil sorcerer."
I was just going to look. I wasn't going to point out that they were alive, though.
But you looked at them, right?
I looked in that direction.
And
Mombi
and I already ran.
Already running, yeah.
Yeah.
And she says, you need a purpose. You're going to be assisting me in trying to find a way out of this castle.
How?
You're going to be going through those, and she points at the ornate golden and wooden doors and says, which are called doors, and you're going to be searching the castle for a way out, while I try to find a magic solution to our problems.
My foot treadle is going as I'm thinking.
Tapping while you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna run to the door that Nikidik was standing in front of and try to push it open with one of my feet.
Okay. You can.
I don't have hands. I have feet.
No, it's okay. You can use your feet.
Well, no, I'm talking to Ian.
No,
He's laughing at me.
No, I'm not laughing at it. I'm actually picturing the feet trying to open up the door.
It's like a little tiny dog or something. And she said, "Is there anybody else that is here that can help with this?"
Oh, yes. I pointed to the bathtub.
Oh, okay. Bathtub, eh? And she walks up to the bathtub and says, "Well, there's no use pretending. I know you're alive. He had the last dose of magic powder."
I rubbed you deep and clean. You better talk.
Yes, he is awful clean.
I'm gonna keep refraining from moving or saying anything.
Okay. Very well. Apparently it is just an inanimate tub after all.
It's not.
It's not? Well, it's not moving, so until it's able to do something, we shall let it be. I am going to go ransack the shelves and try to find magic, and you better join the sewing machine on the excursion through the castle and find a way out. And Jamie, you said you went to the north door behind where Dr. Nikidik was standing?
Yeah.
Okay. So you undo the latch and you open the door and you see a nicely brightly lit hallway, purple carpet going down. There's torches on the side. All of them are not leaving any smoke or residue, and it is comfortably lit. It looks completely normal to you, who have only seen one other room in your entire life.
All 10 minutes of it.
Yeah, exactly. Which has been quite a crazy and interesting 10 minutes so far. But you wouldn't know that because you've never been alive before. So you're going to go inside?
Yeah. I mean,
right.
I don't know any better.
Yep, you don't. And we're going to find out what happens with that. So you start walking through the hallway, and as you walk in, you see a doorway off in the distance, and you feel a pressure plate start to decompress below you. So let's see. Why don't you go ahead and try and make a dexterity check for me, which ought to be interesting for a giant sewing machine.
Again, my dex is actually higher. I
get?
rolled a 1, which became a 3.
Okay.
Of all the
Be a
things.
1.
That's okay. So as you start walking, a pressure plate opens up and the floor drops out beneath you and you fall onto a bunch of wooden spikes. But since you're made of cast iron, it doesn't actually damage you any, and you just do a ton of damage to the spikes as you fall to the ground. They aren't very thick. They're very thin ones like sticks. So you crash to the bottom and you get some dents on your wooden board on the underside. And you can see there's actually a ramp on the other side that you can just walk up. So,
Okay.
Yeah, that was probably the worst possible thing that could happen, but the trap was made for a human, so you're fine.
Yeah. I'm very confused. Like, I don't have a head to turn. So I kind of have to, like, turn my whole body to kind of look around a little bit. And then, like,
Yep, you just like, well, that happened. Yeah, I just landed below and I broke a bunch of stuff, but my goal is still straight ahead, so I guess I'm going to keep walking to it. And you pick yourself up off the spikes, which are now completely destroyed, and you start walking up the slow incline towards the door. There's a little ledge on the side that you can actually go around this pit, too. So whoever follows you behind will be able to avoid it. So you're going to just walk towards the door?
Yeah.
Okay, you walk up towards the door and you get ready to open it. And then we're going to go back real quick to Ian and Tom's characters. Ian, your clown, is standing in the room while Mombi ransacks the shelves and mutters under her breath, "Oh, how clever he seems to have trapped me, but I have to find his secret anyway."
Are there any feathers?
Are there any feathers?
Yeah.
In the room whatsoever?
Correct.
Okay, if you go over to the shelves that Mombi is ransacking, there are various implements. There are some feathers somewhere on the shelf, yes.
I'm going to take one of those feathers, go to the bathtub so I can get, because I'm going to get the bathtub to help me searching and stuff like that. And right between the claw and the tub itself, I'm going to start trying to do like a tickling motion.
Okay. So you can't feel any pain as a creature that's been brought to life, which means you probably also can't feel anything either. However, the tub might find this so ridiculous he might comment on it.
Is the other person, so she's engrossed in studying the shelves?
She's extremely engrossed in studying the magical implements on the shelf. Yes,
I'm gonna the shower, like, I'm gonna lean my long neck down and just kind of look and be like, what do you think you're doing?
I want to get out of here.
I want to get out of here too, but the other guy was gonna tear us to pieces. What do you think she's gonna do?
Better than what he was going to do, probably. Hopefully. Maybe. Who knows?
I don't know. She turned him back lifeless. I'm dripping water on him while I'm doing this.
As I once in a while also wipe my face and everything else as you do that. Well, it's better than what he was going to do. It's instant to kill you right away so far.
It's true.
Well, what's she gonna do once she finds that spellbook?
Well, then maybe we should find it first.
So,
that's a
Ian,
good plan.
Your clown character does remember that the south exit was the exit to the room also and back outside. And that is something that you can relay to him if you wish.
Gotcha. Which
Considering I went in the opposite direction.
Correct.
And
there is so far.
There is a way to escape. That is through that door that was locked behind us. And then the newest companion, the sewing machine, went that way. I point towards the north door.
But that's further into the castle.
It is.
Do you know where the spellbook is?
Did I know where the spellbook was before the transformation?
Yes, you did, because you would have been required to go get it. That would have been... You were given tasks that were okay for a clumsy automaton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not going to be given, like, brain surgery tasks that require fine little details. But, like, go get that book, go sweep that room, that kind of stuff you would be familiar with having to do as the doctor's slave. So you know that the book resided in his former library, which may not be a library now, of course. Everything's changed and doesn't look the same as it did before to you.
Gotcha. But at least for the fact that I've worked with him for a length amount of time, at least know ideals of where he usually had things.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I sort of know where it could be. Things have changed, but I can probably somehow find it, hopefully.
We need to find some way to get rid of this person so we can move.
We can move right now. She already knows that you're alive, I'm pretty sure. Because we're talking, and she's right there.
She's still engrossed in the potions, Matt. She's not hearing any of this.
Oh.
I got a 3. I got a 3. She didn't hear anything.
Well, did you want to first try to find the other living sewing machine that just became live?
Is it going the right way?
Is he going the right way? To my knowledge?
No.
Okay,
you're in the same room as the exit right now. You could just take a few steps over and look at the door if you wanted to.
I will do so.
You said a lock clicked, right?
It did, yeah.
I will go to the door that the sewing machine went through, though.
You're going towards the sewing machine.
Because I know that the sewing machine is going the wrong way, so I was going to get its attention so I can get it to go the right way.
Okay, all right. So then you walk off. You go around the witch, who is still busily engrossed in her search, which... I got a 4, so she is still extremely engrossed in it, muttering, I can't believe Dr. Nikidik, I murder him, turn him into a marble statue with his own potion and own spell, and I still get stuck in here. And she's grousing and very annoyed. You open the door to the next room, and you see a giant pit in front of you that was definitely not there, and a ton of broken wood, and you see the sewing machine disappearing into the door off in the distance.
Halt!
It's too late. She's already gone in the next room. We're going to go skip to her now. The door opens up as you go into the next room, and you see a beautiful, large, open space, easily more than 100 feet across. Every single surface in this room is mirrored. There are mirrors on the ceiling, mirrors on the floor, mirrors on the walls. It gives you a dizzying effect when you look inside. It's like looking into infinity almost. There are some torches on the wall, so it's brightly lit. There is a piano way off in the distance that is playing by itself, and you see an ethereal form kind of drifting lazily around the room. And you've never seen anything quite like any of this before. As you step into the room, you make a very harsh clink, 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 because it's iron on glass, essentially. And
I was wondering if it would be clink or...
It's clinking. Unless you scrape it, in which case it will be for sure.
Okay, so let's see. Looking around, get kind of dizzy. And you said this ephemeral form is just like swirling around the whole.
Kind of just it's localized in one area and it's kind of swirling around, but you see it reflected everywhere. As you step into the room, it stops moving and it starts to clank up towards you also now.
Hi.
And as it comes closer to you, you see something you've never seen before, obviously, because you're just born again. We're going to be saying that a lot, I think. But you see a coat rack with a woman's dress hanging from it that flows around her, and a giant turnip head stuck onto the top of it with a painted face. It's got green stalks growing in the back and a big old ribbon in the side that with the ends that trail off. And she comes spinning up to you and she says, "Hello, where did you come from?"
There? And I, take one of my foot treadles to point to the door, or not foot treadles, one of my feet to point toward the door.
She kind of peeks through the door and she looks at the pit and she says, "Oh, I see. What's your name?"
Zoe?
Sewing. It's so nice to meet you. My name is Dinah.
Hi.
I'm Dr. Nikidik's wife.
Book?
Book? What? You're looking for a book?
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I can't nod my head. I'm like,
You can use your foot pedal for actions. You also have the ability to flip your.
I was gonna say I can flip
down.
one of the wooden pieces because the two on the
Yes.
end are actually movable as well. I can flip that out.
Yeah. Spellbook?
Spellbook. That I believe that dear old Nikidik's spellbook would be in his library, and that's in the other direction. You want to go in the other room on the other side.
I'm gonna turn around.
Past pit?
Yes, go past the pit, and then you should make a right in the next room.
Okay, thank you.
If you see Dr. Nikidik, tell him I'm waiting for him. And she kind of slowly glides around a little bit.
I'm gonna clink, 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 clink out of there.
You try to clink, clink, clink out of there, and you're dragged right back into the center of the room, making it right over the floor.
What?
She glides around a little bit, and she says, "This room is enchanted, my dear. There's only one way out of it."
Okay.
And while you guys are having that conversation, we're going to go back to Ian and Tom's characters again. You saw her go inside the room and the door kind of halfway close, and you've been listening to a conversation outside of it and hearing strange sounds from the other side of the door.
Tub. Sewing machine went this way.
Tub?
No, Tub.
Oh.
I didn't give it. I don't know his name. I didn't give it a name, so I'm just.
None of you have
saying
names.
Tub. Exactly. So I called it a Tub.
It's fine.
So the doors close automatically behind as you leave?
Yeah, it's magic.
Okay, so we didn't hear any of the conversation.
You heard muffled conversation from the other side of the door. It's not soundproof.
Right.
We need to go get her out of that room and try to get her to go in the correct direction. So
I'm not moving. As long as that witch is there, I'm not...
She's still... Let's see if she does anything.
The guy who's going to hack us to pieces, I don't trust her either. She looks like the guy.
She does, actually. They look very similar. They both look old, wicked, and with terrible clothing.
They're both human. That's enough.
That too. Every human you've met so far is a despicable human being.
I'm not exactly entirely trusting of the clown either, because he looks like they do.
He's a humanoid, yeah.
Well, I guess then that part from I do.
He also dragged you in to be hacked up.
I start dragging the bathtub.
Okay, so the bathtub wants to stay where it is, so you're gonna have to make contested strength rolls.
My strength's an 18, buddy.
I'm still gonna try it.
16.
Okay, so as you try to pull the bathtub, its clawed feet are like digging into the soft plush ground, and it's not moving.
You know that she's going to be there for a while, you know.
I don't think I have to eat.
Oh, I got a 1 this time. As you guys are talking, one of the shelves kind of shatters and breaks, and a bunch of potions and mists and pile up out of the ground, and you hear her cursing as she falls on her butt. If you look over, you see that she's actually turned polka dot.
Now, do you want to move?
She's knocked out cold now. Also, she fell. She's out.
She
got
fell
a
off
1.
the shelves.
She fell off the shelves, turned polka dot, and is laying down on the ground now. She's knocked out. I legit got a 1 on that roll.
Not to see we both have our kitties.
Yes,
Alright,
he ran.
If she conks herself out, then I'm gonna, as soon as I see that, I'm gonna bolt for the nearest exit, wherever.
Okay,
that may be.
that would be behind you then, where everybody was pointing at and looking at earlier that you saw click shut. So as you go towards the door and you start shambling for it, making big bum 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 clonks towards it, you see the little key that's locked in the door wiggle itself out and fall to the ground, and it squeaks and it runs to a little mouse hole on the side and disappears into the mouse hole.
Oh my god.
Come find me! You're now standing in front of the door.
What does the door look like?
The door is a large standard door. What's the standard D&D dungeon size? It's like 10 by 10 or something. Is that right? Yeah, so it's a little bit less than that. It looks like it's made of gold and wood.
Can I try to knock it down?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
What do you want me to roll?
Just a strength check on it.
I will shout out.
22.
Okay. You bash into it, and you do manage to take a really good chunk out of it, and it looks like it's being hit off its hinges. But as soon as you come back, it kind of looks like it corrects itself, and it shimmers a little bit, and it moves back into place. So you did a lot of damage to it, but it corrected itself somehow.
Hey, Tub, we're in a magical area. Just so you know, what that means is that a lot of these things here can't open without that key that ran through that hole.
But the key's on the other side of the door.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand. How do I get to the other side of the door to get the key to open the door so I can get on the other side of the door?
The book.
He's using pretty good logic for a tub that just came alive a half hour ago.
There's the book, but there's also a whole bunch of other holes that the key could be running out of.
All right. Let's go then. Here, hop in.
Oh, awesome. I jump in.
You jump in, you kind of slip a little bit and slide, and then you kind of put your hands on the rim and you sit up in it. You've never been for a ride before. This is a real treat. Anytime you've been transported, you were turned off by letting your gears and stuff run down.
I will try to hightail it out the first exit that I can actually go through.
I point towards the north one, though, that the sewing machine went towards.
Okay.
Straight across?
You're going to... What?
It's straight the opposite side from where we're at now?
Yeah. So you're going to rush towards the shelves and then see the collapsed remains and a polka-dotted witch laying on the ground and skitter around and go towards the open door?
Yeah.
You go through the door and you see the pit, which you're easily able to avoid because there is a ramp on the side and there is that little crossway, and you march across it, and the door is shut, but you do hear muffled voices on the other side.
I am going to open up that door.
Okay, you reach out from the tub and open the door into the aforementioned room of mirrors. Everything is brightly lit. You see the sewing machine in the center of the room, looking as confused as a sewing machine can be. And you see a coat rack with a big purple dress hanging from it, with the dress ends kind of billowing in a breeze that isn't there, and a turnip head.
And I know who she is?
You don't. No, you've never actually met her.
Awesome.
She turns towards you and kind of glides around, and she says, "Oh, more visitors! Wonderful! This is almost a party."
Almost. Sewing machine, let's go this way.
the wheel that's on the back of the sewing machine that helps control the needle just kind of keeps going back and forth because like not full rotations, just like I'm like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
So you're saying that out loud too?
No, I'm thinking it like.
So she dances up to the two of you and she says, "Where did you two come from? I just met my friend sewing over here. What are your names?" Names are what you call yourselves. They're what you are. My name is Dinah.
Why would I want to call myself? I always know where I am.
This is Tub, as I... and I'm Jester.
She says, "It's very nice to meet you." And she kind of bends down a little bit, her coat-racked spine, and then stiffens back up and kind of dances around both of you. She says, "Will you two be my friends?"
Does it involve hacksaws?
No. Heavens no, I wouldn't do anything like that to you. Is that what Dr. Nikidik, my husband, has been up to?
Yes.
Ha. Well, if you bring him in here, I'll have a discussion with him about who should be hacksawing who.
Sewing machine, you coming?
Yes.
And I'm gonna start trying to treadle after them.
So as you start walking towards them, you screech back to the center of the room again. And she kind of dances around and she says, "Oh, of course. I'm so sorry, Sewing. You're my friend and I didn't tell you either. This room is enchanted. The only way to get out of it is by dancing."
Dancing?
"Yes, of course." And she spins around and her dress kind of billows up around her. The music swells on the piano in the corner that's playing by itself. Just like this. Try it.
I'm very like I have high dex, but I'm very uncoordinated with my feet.
You have to practice a little bit. It sounds like make your what should we do it under for acrobatics or
Performance.
Acrobatics,
If
athletics.
it's dancing, it's performance.
Performance.
Oh, or performance. Okay.
Oh, good. I'm terrible at that one.
Me too.
Actually got a 14.
That's great. So you start listening to the music and start tapping your feet at first, and then eventually you start bump, 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 down, up and down. It makes a horrible racket, and you're probably splintering the glass down it a little bit. But
I'm sure.
Every time you crack it a little bit, it seems to repair itself a little bit because the enchantment isn't letting things get too too crazy. It seems like, and you start you realize you can start moving on your own.
Can I start prancing like a show pony?
Certainly, yeah.
That's my form of dancing. Is like
Next on ESPN 8, Sewing Machine Dressage.
So Dinah says, "You're doing wonderful, wonderful," and the others will have to do it too if they want to escape this room.
We never went to the room.
You are in the room, I thought.
We're in the doorway.
Oh, we're at the doorway.
Never mind then. Then she didn't say that, and she just gives more encouragement to Dinah.
you mean sewing?
Yes.
Okay. So
Just knowing, that's you.
yeah. Yeah.
Gives you more encouragement, and you do have the ability to leave the room. There is another door far off in the distance past the piano, but
I want to get back to the other people that are trying to escape.
You also have directions to the library as well, too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try and prance my way over to the doorway.
You can do it. There's nothing blocking you or keeping you from getting there. The force that brought you back to the center of the room when you weren't doing what it wanted for whatever reason allows you to get to the doorway, and you are now standing in front of a bathtub with its little shower nozzle aimed and looking at you with presumably it has an eye of some kind.
It's the round nozzle, so it's
got lots of eyes,
and there's just a constant slow drip out of the bottom of it. Just
you drool,
and
I
and the
leak.
clown
Thank you very
is
much.
sitting and gripping the sides and looking at you.
Except for when I'm talking, then I spray.
Say it, don't spray it.
I can't help it. That's how it's built.
Okay. Library.
Yep.
Where is it?
And I point with my one foot back across the pit to where we just left, or to where they just left.
Using my sort of knowledge of where he usually has things, I would point in the direction that we would go for the library.
Which is when you go into the room, you make a right, which is to the west. Yeah.
Instead of turning my entire tub around, I'm just gonna turn my shower head back towards and just walk back that way.
Yep. You start
all of a sudden you hear beeping sounds.
So I'm dripping onto the clown again because he's inside the tub.
As you open the door to go back out again, where the witch was laying, she's not there anymore, and there's just a big mess on the floor. You actually see her standing at the opposite door on the other side of the room, and she is looking at it and trying to get it to open and kind of grabbing on it.
I am going to try to tiptoe past her.
She won't see you because she's in the other side of the room. You can go around the shelves to the one that you want to.
I'm gonna try and be quiet because I am a big giant claw-footed tub
made of mostly metal.
And so I'm going to try to sneak. Made of mostly metal. Let me. My stealth is terrible, by the way.
I can't wait to find out what you get.
And apparently I have disadvantage on it? What?
Oh my gosh, what?
I rolled a 1!
So you angle your shower head and you see the threat in the room. And you're like, oh, it's the witch. I got this. You get ready to start tiptoeing, and you immediately bump into the shelf, and all of the shelves and items fall right over and clatter and shatter on the ground, and you start bonk, bonk, bonk. You don't know what being silent is. Really.
No, I'm just
bonk, bonk, bonk.
All I knew is I didn't want to attract the attention of the human.
She turns around and she looks straight at you and she says, "Aha! Love is finally awake."
I turn my shower head to look at her, and then I turn it back and just stop for a minute.
Tub, that's not going to work.
Trying to play dumb with me, dearie. There's no use. I understand that you're alive and it's perfectly all right. I mean you no harm. I will make you a deal. If you make sure no water touches me, I'll make sure no harm comes to you or your companions, and we'll all get out of this.
You don't want him to speak.
She's not standing directly under him.
No, but still, that's going to be what I say.
Okay. She says, well, in any event, if you agree, nod your shower head.
I'll slowly just...
Very good, very good. You're going to explore in that direction? And she points at the door you guys were about to go in.
Again, do the squeaky metal nod. Yeah.
She goes, very good, very good. I'm going to attempt to go in this direction. If we see anything, yell, and we'll come to each other's aid. She walks back to the door, and she does the cartoony. She puts her hand on the doorknob and puts her feet on it and starts yanking on it, trying to get the door to open. And you guys are now ready to go in the other room.
Yeah.
And I properly open up that door.
You open the door and you see a cozy room with a work desk in the center with a great many papers scattered all over. The rich, deep carpet covers the floor in that dark royal purple that's everywhere. A comfortable couch in the corner with an opening in the north where another door, like an archway. A painting of a door in the west, like a big gilded gold frame with a painted door in it. And a strange press is on the table, like a big apparatus that looks like you're meant to put something in, and then it pulls down and presses into a vial on the desk. And that's what you see in the room. There's nobody inside it, and it doesn't look like anybody's out to get you at the moment.
Go towards the painting.
Okay. So you walk towards the painting, and you see a painting of a door. It looks exactly like the other doors in the area. It's about 13 inches tall, yay high. It's built. It looks like it's on a wall. It's just a painting of a door.
I try to lift up the painting, or move the painting to the side.
Okay. You lift up the painting and look behind it, and there's just blank marble wall on it. There's nothing behind the painting.
I touch the painting.
You touch the painting, and it feels like a painting.
While the jester is doing that, I'm going to do my best to walk and look at, like, say, the books on the shelves, even though, because, wait, I forget, we can't read, right? Like, we
No.
can speak, but we can't read.
Correct.
Like,
Which one is Spellbook?
They all look like books to you. They're all just, you see the spines, none of them stand out from the other. They're various colors. A lot of them are purple or brown because this is Gillikin Country. There's a few yellow, which is Winky, a few red, which is Quadling, and a few Munchkin, which are blue books. But generally speaking, most of them are purple and brown. None of them stand out. All of them are just kind of lined up on the shelves. There is, again, another door to the room, I believe.
The door was the painting.
The painting, and there is one more door to the side that I apparently didn't write in my description, but is on my map. So there's 2 doors. One is a opening archway to another room that you haven't explored yet, and there's one more door to the right, I guess.
The archway is just
straight ahead.
Oh, it's just an open arch, right? There's no
Correct.
door.
Yeah,
All
there's
right.
no doorway in it.
I'm gonna wander over that way.
So you wander over and you find the kitchen. This is a lovely kitchen with a wooden island in the center, a table with 2 chairs that is bouncing up and down with a bowl of fruit on it, a large fireplace with a kettle bubbling, and a stove, a large black iron one with a fire going inside it with a couple pots boiling on it. This stove is animated, however, and is moving its arms and stirring pots and stirring the cauldron and singing a happy song while it does everything.
Excuse me.
Blah, blah, blah. Yes. What are you doing in my kitchen? Get out.
I'm looking for the library.
The library? It's off in the left over there. Now get out of my kitchen. You'll spoil it with your bathtubbery nonsense.
Sorry. I'll trot on out.
As you talk, your water sprays out and it kind of hits a little bit of the stove and it kind of fizzes up into a mist. And he gets annoyed and a little bellow of smoke comes out and you turn out and he just goes back to cooking. So you go back into the room and you see the clown off looking at the painting on the wall, which is still suspicious. And you see the sewing machine looking at a pile of books or on the wall.
And the door to the left is still there?
Correct, yes.
And that's not the one we came in through?
No, that is another door that I didn't describe in my descriptions because I was hastily writing things this morning, so my bad.
I'm going to get everybody's attention by going... and just
you spray water everywhere. It goes all over the paper.
Like, try to get... Just do the psst, but it's...
I turn around.
I'm going to tilt my shower head towards the door. We're supposed to go this way.
You walk over and you stand in front of the door to indicate where everybody's supposed to go, which is on the opposite side of the painting. I guess the clown comes up and he's the only one with opposable digits at the moment. I need you to make a roll real quick for your mechanism, your speech, and your thought. You're going to be rolling a D5, and if you get a 1, you have to be rewound.
A D5?
There is no D5.
D6, I'm sorry. D6.
I got a 3.
Got a 3? You don't need to be. You need to do it 1 for each one. You need to tell me which one you're doing for each one because it'll affect your performance.
So it's speech, thought, and
that was speech. Your speech is fine.
No, I'm trying to remember what the rule was. It was speech, thought, action, and
a mystery one you don't know about.
Oh, okay.
That's where he turns into a ninja clown.
Maybe.
Or a real boy.
Is my thought.
That's a button, not a.
Yeah, you're okay.
6 is my action.
You're fine on your action, even though you've been moving more than anything for some reason.
And my mysteriousness is that 5.
5. All right, you're good for everything, so you can continue moving without any issues. We'll explore this again later, and it's going to get harder the more you continue to do things.
By this point, I've trotted over behind the bathtub.
Excellent.
Kind of like leaning on my legs to try and see past him.
And while you look for those notes, I'm going to quickly tell him if there is ever a time that looks like I'm going slower than usual or acting not the usual, you see all of these things on behind me? Can you somehow turn them?
How?
I don't have any hands.
I don't know.
Jamie, you might be able to use your like wooden flaps to like slap it in a circle. You could try it. I mean, we'll see how well it works if you roll for it. But you don't.
I mean, also, I mean, I don't mind the idea of slapping his character.
It won't hurt him or you, honestly. So
Yeah.
I mean, but you don't have to do it right now because he's not in any
Yeah.
duress of any kind. So you open the door and you find the library. After all, there are rows and rows of bookshelves, dusty lined, different colors. There's about 5 rows. You can see each row down. Past the rows, you see a light coming down over a pillar and a book with gold edges and a purple cover on it.
Indiana Jones style.
Is that the book that I know of it though, or is that a different book?
It looks like the Spellbook to you, yes.
Oh, okay.
But the room looks completely different than what you're used to. It looks absolutely nothing like what you're used to at the moment.
There she blows. There's the book.
There she. I guess he was a pirate. He was owned by a pirate at some point in the past before he got sold to Dr. Nikidik.
I will trot us on up to the pedestal.
All right, you go up to the pedestal, and you don't notice anything out of the ordinary because you don't know what a trap is.
I wouldn't notice probably even if I did know what a trap was.
And whenever I had to get the book, there it was not trapped. So
Correct. Okay, so who's going to reach for the book first then?
Probably the guy with hands.
I was gonna say,
I mean, you could like knock the pedestal over and hope the book falls in your tub, right?
I was thinking
The
like
clown's already
using
in
your
my
long
tub.
neck to push it.
The clown's already in my tub. I just walk
That's
up
true.
and there you go.
All right. Well, Ian, your clown character walks up or is in the tub, goes up. You reach out your hands, and as you reach out, you grab the book, and you feel an electric shock completely course through your body. But it doesn't affect you any at all because it was designed to affect a human or a living creature, so you're perfectly unharmed.
I laugh.
You now have a magic book in your hand.
You tried to hurt me before when you were alive, and now you can't.
So you're holding the book, and you see a bunch of useless magical implements on the walls, like books and stuff. There's more vials and stuff on the walls and clear water, but you don't know what to do with any of it. You don't recognize any of them as anything that you've stocked previously. This is not the wizard stash, which you do know exists somewhere else in the place still.
I'm gonna try to find a key in this room, though.
Okay. Go ahead and you can take a look around. There is no key in here, though. I'm just going to give it to you for free because it's books. Some things in the walls, some vials, but there's no there's no key or anything in here.
Actually, did I know of? So for the key itself that ran off, do I know of what usually attracts that key's attention?
No, it's never been alive before.
Oh, okay, gotcha. This is the first time. Okay, awesome.
Nice try. Though.
So, and I don't know how to read the book, correct? I just know how to look at it?
No, you know how to look at it. You know how to deliver it to Dr. Nikidik.
Awesome. Then I will point off
to
the next direction, which might be where he might usually have extra keys, and that's to his living quarters.
His living quarters? Okay, that would be where the painting would be, actually.
And I will point it towards that area.
Okay. I guess he steers the tub back around, and he points you towards the this way.
Does he turn your knobs?
Great, I'm a mount.
So I actually get into my old entertainment mode that I hate going to sometimes just out of like a pure automatic reaction, and I go that way.
So
he's got one foot up on the lip of the tub, just.
And then as I see myself doing it, I look at myself in hatred, and I go like,
I can't believe I reverted to what I was made for, entertainment. I hate myself.
I will trot on back into the living room.
Okay, you go back into the study/lounge, so living room, with the clown valiantly pointing the way towards the painting. He takes you right up to the painting, and as you go forward with your finger pointing, you notice that it actually starts to go into the painting a bit.
Keep going!
You go up and you feel your hand touch the knob, even though your arm is now into the painting altogether.
I open.
All right, you open the door, and all of you kind of shrink down a little bit and go through the painting, and you end up in his bedroom next. And you pop out on the other side. The door is normal on the other side, and you pop out. So the Purple carpet runs into this room as well. There's a gorgeous 4-poster bed with purple holsters with purple covers over it. There is an armoire with much fancier clothing hanging inside it. The doors are slightly open on it. You wonder briefly why wouldn't he wear the nicer clothing instead of his raggedy robes, but you remember that it was an enchantment, so maybe it wasn't there before. The 2 black cats from earlier that Mombi brought in with her are sitting and sleeping on the bed and purring softly to themselves. Apparently, the sewing machine already has one in their arms. All right, so you guys clomp into the room, and as you come in, the cats look up and they look really annoyed to see you, and they start hissing at you.
I'm going to get up to the edge of the bed and just kind of look at them. And when they hiss at me, I'm going to hiss back, but with water.
So you hiss at them because you recognize they're making an aggressive stance.
No, just because it's a sound I can make too.
Yeah.
I recognize the sound. I'm like, hey, I can do that.
You spray them both with water, and they screech in anger, and they dash off the bed. They run out of the room, and you hear them cursing at you. We'll get you for this. Just you wait. You'll see. And the door opens up, and they run out, and it slams shut.
What happened?
I guess they didn't like to talk.
Does the sewing machine have any drawers?
Yeah,
I have one on the front.
I'm gonna put the book inside of it. I'm gonna try to open it up and put the book inside of it. Try to.
So what?
I was gonna say, when you try to open it, I'm like, I don't let it open.
You gotta ask permission, buddy.
Oh, I was just gonna put this book in there, and I keep trying to do it.
You know, and like it's gonna be one of those like trying to open. I'm just like, no, why?
Because I don't want to hold on to this book.
You can try one more time, but if she doesn't consent, then you need to start talking and using your words.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No. After that, it's like, and then I let it open up.
Okay, so you let the drawer open, and he puts the book inside, and he says,
and I slam it shut.
Ian, you need to make a dexterity move to make sure your fingers get out of the way.
Wow.
Boop. 17.
Ooh.
Yeah, you whip them out of the way when you see that drawer slam shut. The book is very safe now, though.
Right?
Awesome. So I will try to explain to what I'm looking for, which is like a key of a type, or anywhere that there might be keys, and then I will start looking for after I try to describe what a key usually looks like.
There's a chest in the corner behind the bed. Like around the other side of the bed, there's a chest there.
Oh, okay. Now we'll look at the chest.
All right. You open up the chest, and you see 4 vials of clear liquid. You don't know what they do.
Nope. I'm going to keep looking for the key.
There's nothing else in that chest, so you close the door, or close the chest, and you look through the bed. There's just purple covers. You look through the armoire. There's a bunch of fancy clothing, which you'd probably be able to use in your gesturing, but other than that, there's no key in this room.
Gotcha. Well, I guess he doesn't have his usual keys in here.
I guess we'll just have to take the book back.
I guess that might be the only way, but the thing is that she was having troubles with opening it too.
The book?
No, the door.
Oh, yeah, the door.
But if she's got the spellbook, she should be able to get us out, she said.
Hopefully.
It's the only chance we've got.
I was gonna, I can kneel down almost like a horse onto my front legs, and to like look under the bed and try and see inside the closet. Like I'm just gonna kind of like look around a bit.
So you see the 4 vials in the chest as well, too, and you don't know what they do, but they do kind of sparkle a little bit.
You know what? I'm gonna say that my little foot treadle, that I can pull the wire up so I can move it almost like a limb.
Yeah.
It's not extremely dexterous. It's not like I have opposable digits, but I use it, and it's like I kind of clamp it a little bit on the vial to at least try and pick it up. I like bring it up so I can see it. Huh.
You hold it looking at the light, and it kind of sparkles, and it looks really pretty. You don't know what it does, but...
Hey, Tub? You hold? I'm gonna drop it gently into the tub.
You're gonna drop it?
Well, no, like you know what I mean. Like put it
in
over,
gently.
because I can't exactly just like gently lay it in, but like
Make a dexterity check
somewhat, yeah.
to see if you can gently put it in without breaking the vial.
Okay. Well, that would be a 21.
Okay. You carefully maneuver your foot piece up and hold the vial gently over and slide it down the longer end, and it gracefully slides down the back of the ceramic and lands in the bottom of the tub and does not break.
Okay.
So now we have a rattling potion of some kind rattling around inside the tub. Maybe it'll come in handy later. We don't know. We'll find out, I guess. So you guys have now investigated the room. You haven't found anything that you're looking for, which is a key, which makes perfect sense because that is the one item that you're looking for after all. You hear a cacophony of noise and excited screeching coming from the main room now through muffled doors.
I'll turn and start heading back out.
I was gonna say, who's closer to the door, me or Tub?
Probably Tub, because he wasn't actually much in the room looking at anything.
Okay. So I guess I'll wait for him to get out of the room before I follow behind.
Okay. So as you go out into the main study, the doorway has now become a regular door and the painting is now gone behind you. It's a full-size door. You just realize that the way to get through that was to just act like it was a regular door and it would let you through. As you go into the main room, you see the polka-dotted witch standing and jumping up and down and speaking to two sopping wet cats. And she turns to the tub and she says, "So you found the spell book?"
We haven't found the key yet.
That's okay. That's okay. I can get us out as long as you have the spell book. Where is it?
I'm not sure. I'm just trying to find a key first. That's what I was trying to find first.
Don't lie to me, clown. The two cats said they very clearly saw you with the spell book in your arms.
Did they?
Was looking for key though.
Yes, the key to get out, we can use that, but if I have the spell book, I can find a way for us to get out that way as well. I wasn't able to get in that other door over there, so this might be the only way out. Where is the spell book?
Wait, what other door? The one to the east?
The one that she was trying to open, yeah. She couldn't get it open.
I'll walk up to that door to try to open it.
Okay,
Did you ask nice?
Huh?
Did you ask nice?
Yes, my dear sewing machine. In fact, if you give me the spell book, I would be happy to take you home with me, and you could help sew me dresses.
I'm trying to debate if that actually sounds like a good idea or not to me.
You have no basic
I know, because I'm
reason
like
to disbelieve her. You do as a player, but as
Right.
a character that's been brought to life, Ian, your clown is not able to open that door. You're wiggling that handle and trying to get it open, and it is not opening.
No, that's why I'm like thinking like, is that something the sewing machine would actually care? Because I mean, I get used for my purpose.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
So,
I think it is a very tempting offer.
Yeah, our main attraction was that we were just trying to find the key. I don't know what the cat saw, but I was looking for a key.
One of the cats looks at you severely and it says, "You're lying." And then you got that tub to spit on us.
Sure, on the spit.
I'm gonna turn back to the other two and be like, just tell them, we did make a deal, guys.
Yeah.
I'm finding a key.
That wasn't the deal.
Yeah.
You know it wasn't the deal.
I'll trot a little closer to the witch and like turn slightly and open my drawer out.
Okay, so she sees the spell book and she says, "You've done very well. Thank you, my dear." And she reaches in to grab the spell book and pulls it out. She starts to flip through the spell book and she's getting more and more animated and excited as she looks at it. She says, "Oh, confound it! He's taken the last secret to his grave. The ability to make an enchantment real. He's taken the last page out. I'll never find it again. But I found a way to make my transformations real." She opens the book and she turns away from all of you and she makes a couple gestures over the book while making a couple weird sounds and incantations. And suddenly she disappears completely. Make a perception check, all of you.
Oh no.
Not nat, but 20.
20? Okay, you'll see what happens then.
12.
12? What did the
11.
tub get? 11? Okay. So you all three will notice, but especially the sewing machine, you see a shadow on the wall in the shape of the old woman, like old Nosferatu style, like kind of gliding along. You'll see her going towards the door, and she'll say, "I'm sorry to abandon you, especially you, sewing machine, the promise I made, but I must leave and get back to the Emerald City. There's great things happening there. So long." And then you see the shadow disappear under the crack in the door and leave. And the two cats also saw what was happening because they're cats and they see supernatural things automatically. That's something all cats can do. And they just go, "Oh, she left us. That beautiful, beautiful creature left us." Because cats like old women, they're cat ladies. "I can't believe this. We're going to die in here." And the other one turns, "Well, what do you want to do? Nap?" Nap. And they both go back to the bedroom area to go sleep on this.
Wait, you want to try to catch something inside of a mouse hole?
They don't hear you. They're already walking toward. They're presumably going to die, so they forgot all about you and they're running back towards the door.
So can I go over to the little mouse hole that the key ran into?
Yeah, you can go over
And
there.
again, I'm going to kneel down and I'm going to say, "Please come out. Please."
So you're saying it, and it sounds like it's a very deep hole, and it goes a long way. So whatever is back there did not hear you.
Okay.
Sorry. But it was a good attempt. I like that.
How would her...
What?
I was just trying to think of something.
Okay, well, you're still at the door. You're
Yeah.
trying to get it open, and it's not opening. So what are you going to do next?
Go to the fallen bookshelf.
What's that? Go to the fallen bookshelf?
Look for anything that we can try to open up the door with.
Okay. There's no keys, but there's lots of various potions and vials that are spilled on the floor. There's a lot of components on the ground, too. Feathers, toenails, all kinds of gross things are on the ground. Scales from some kind of reptilian creature.
You said the hole sounds like it goes really deep, right?
Yes.
Does it sound like echoey at all? Like, does it sound cavernous?
It doesn't sound cavernous. It just, when you speak into it, you don't get the reflection back to you, and you can tell that it goes a pretty good distance away.
I'm going to go stand in the center of the room right about where I was when I was brought to life and
Okay.
be like, "Well, guys, we tried. I suppose it's been fun. Confusing, but fun."
It's been an interesting life, hasn't it?
I'm going to turn around towards the tub so I can see him.
Don't give up.
Aw.
What else are we going to do? We can't get the key. It's on the other side of the door, and the witch didn't come through with her end of the bargain and left us. She had the magic book, which was the only other way out of here, so we're just
Can
going
you
to have to
hit
wait
wall?
and see. What?
Can you hit wall?
And I'm going to kind of like lean and gesture towards the wall that the key ran through.
Okay.
Why would I do that? That mouth hole is way too small for us.
Make hole bigger.
Okay. So she's trying to get you to go, knock down the door or knock down the wall where the mouse hole is, which you know that hitting that door didn't actually get you anywhere because it seemed to repair itself.
Which is why I'm reluctant to try and break
Right.
anything else.
There is another door that you haven't tried it on, though, too, that the clown was just trying to open.
He couldn't get it open, though, right?
No, he couldn't.
Sewing machine, how does your thread work?
Mm,
Can you make it move? Flop?
Actually, probably not. Because the
It
thread
is a
isn't
living
part of
your
me.
body. It is. It is a part of you. Anything that was on you is a part of you.
Fair. Okay. I wasn't thinking of it like that. I was thinking of it as specific components, but okay, fair.
You
Because
could.
it would have been touched by the powder of life.
You want to roll that thread into the mouse hole?
Hey, sewing
I'm-
machine. Can you
I
use
mean,
that-
now that because I hadn't thought about that, but all right. Yeah, I will turn my little wheel, which goes with the needle, but also pulls the thread. And yep, I'll spin out the thread, and but I still can't see through it. So, because my eyes are on the front, but I could probably, well, feel is the wrong word for it, but
You would
like,
be able to feel, yeah.
yeah, like I can feel when I hit something, even if I
Yes.
can't like tell the texture of it.
Sure. This is not the solution I had in mind, but I like it. That's what I like about D&D is the player interaction and ability to change things. So yeah, go for it.
So yeah, I'll weave it through the little mouse hole, and
So you walk up to the mouse hole and you unscrew the little spindle that holds the thread on it, and the thread you lower it down kind of like a spider lowering on a silk, I would say, and it unravels to the ground, and then you roll it towards the mouse hole and you start feeding or rolling into it. It feels like it gets warmer, like you're not really feeling it, but you're like sensing
right.
stuff as you go into it, and it rolls quite a distance, and then it ends up in a very small enclosed area which has it feels like an object in the center and something metal sitting inside it.
Okay. So feeling around the metal object, do I feel any holes?
There's no holes or anything inside there. There's just a bunch of little tiny objects all around it, and you're bumping into everything as you do it.
Okay. Any way for me to wrap the thread around it?
It is a circular style room, and whatever is in the center, the metal thing that you feel, is long and thin.
Okay. Yeah, I will wrap the thread around it multiple times, just
So
like
you're gonna spin it around, and you're gonna move it up and down, and kind of make a little web inside it, and wrap whatever it is inside there.
gonna do my best, and then yank.
You think you hear little tiny piercing shrieks when you do that, by the way. Oh my gosh, I got a what? You yank, and you hear a little tinkling, and you hear, "What is this? How dare you drag me out of my house?" And then and then a little tiny key comes rushing right out of it, and a little key appears wrapped up in your thread, all messy, and is sitting there and scrambling around as it tries to get up.
As I roll my thread back up and I pick it up to look at it, I'm like, there you are.
I was having a nap in my chair.
Can you please let us out?
Out the door? Well, I suppose so. And you go to put the key in the keyhole and turn it, and as you turn it, you hear that deep gonging sound again. Gong, gong. And you hear the voice of Dr. Nikidik, and he says, "Well, my trap failed. I was intending to eliminate Mombi, my arch nemesis, but instead it ensnared you three, who were intended to be the arbiter of her demise. You have earned your freedom, and I will be resuming my time in the grave, I suppose. My ability to communicate is now ending, and you need to leave as quickly as possible before the enchantment ends. It is nearly dawn." And the door swings open, and Ian, you see the regular opening to the cave with the light coming from the oncoming dawn approaching. So you need to get out fast.
Yep. And I rush out to it saying, "Let's get out."
Don't gotta tell me twice. And I just
All of you start clanking out, and as you start clanking, behind you, you see the enchantment starting to collapse in on itself, rolling and moving in, and then finally it sinks down into a ravine, and there's nothing left after that. But all of you move out, and as you see the enchantment end and you exit the cave onto the dusty purple path, you realize you've escaped. The world around you is vast and huge. The giant snow-capped peaks of the Gillikin Mountains are in front of you. And way off in the distance down towards the mountain, you think you see a big glowing light with a bunch of people around it.
Whoa!
And I shout out in excitement, "For once, I don't have to have someone tell me what to do."
It's true, yeah. You're no longer a slave. You've got your freedom. And that actually ends being trapped in the castle of Dr. Nikidik. Congratulations, all of you made it out.
I want to very specifically say thank you, Ian, for thinking about my thread. because like I said, I wasn't thinking of it as a part of my body, but yeah, no,
This is one of the hard things about doing these one shots is that when you're playing a unique character and you're not used to, you don't get that time to get that attachment to it and learn every little trick that it can do, and you don't think of the unique circumstances that you have that you can perform with the character. So
yeah.
So I was gonna be honest with you. If that didn't work, I was gonna have to try that. I was gonna try to have the bathtub, try to drown it with the water.
the key,
The
It
whole
would-
yeah.
It's not, to flush it
her
out.
Yeah, that might have
it
worked.
might have worked, but it wouldn't have drowned it because it's an inanimate object.
Well, try to get it.
None of
out.
you could have drowned or anything. All right, and that concludes this episode of Elsewheres in Oz in the Castle of Dr. Nikidik. I want to thank the players, Tom Barrett, Ian Anderson, and Jamie Fox for playing with me today. I hope you guys had fun. I had fun running it, even though everything kind of went off the rails, as it often does. I hope you guys stay tuned here on Chartered Adventuring. Please subscribe, like, click, smash that like button.
Smash it!
Stay tuned for more videos. We also have more videos of interviews coming with the players as well and personalities of Chartered Adventuring. And as always, if you are interested in the Wizard of Oz or the Oz Club, go to ozclub.org and consider signing up. That is where we got our maps that you do see on display. And until next time, my name is Patrick Henry, and thanks for joining us at Chartered Adventuring. Have a great day. He's using pretty good logic for a tub that just came alive a half hour ago.